Just recently, a Chinese land consortium announced its interest in completing Line 6 of São Paulo's metro system. In 2015, construction began on the project, but last year it was stopped after the original contractors got entangled in corruption allegations. The group includes the country's biggest construction company, Odebrecht, whose former CEO, Marcelo Odebrecht, has been in jail for over 2 years, serving a 19-year sentence for paying bribes.
Over the last few years, corruption probes in Brazil, especially the landmark car wash probe into illegal dealings involving oil giant Petrobras, have had deep impacts in the country's business community, political establishment, and the economy. And as investigations continue, it's unclear what else may be revealed.
Right now, the Congress is looking into charges against President Michel Temer, despite a Brazil's Chamber of Deputies committee report to the lower house of parliament that recommended rejecting the charges of obstruction. And former President Lula da Silva, who was sentenced to 9 years and 6 months over allegations of corruption linked to the car wash probe, is leading in the polls in the upcoming 2018 presidential elections. There is widespread perception in Brazil that politicians have been trying to slow down investigations. But one analyst says their capacity to do so is limited because of the relative independence of federal police, prosecutors, and controllers.
We can have some will of the government in terms of stopping those investigations. On the other side, you have some force from the internal corporation in charge of the investigation that can try to prevent these actions. It's a track that we have pursued. I'm not sure we can revert to this path of continuing the investigation. Population will not accept.
As investigations progress, there is also concern with the impacts on the economy, as some of the country's biggest companies have been hit. This professor says the corruption probes are one reason behind the drop in the level of investment in the country.
Without the car wash, we would have a better prospect in the short term to grow. But in the long term, we would be stuck into problems related to corruption. In the best scenario, we would get rid of corruption and Brazil would develop a new judicial system, new institutions that would foster investment.
Some Brazilians seem to believe battling corruption is paramount for the country's long-term development, even if it increases Brazil's hardships for now. Paulo Cabral, CGTN, São Paulo.